This is the story of Jonah, a man whose journey taught us about the boundless mercy of God and the importance of obedience. Let me take you back to ancient times, to Israel and the surrounding lands, where prophets walked among the people and carried messages from God. Jonah was one such prophet, a man chosen by God to deliver divine words to his people. But Jonah's story, unlike others, would become one of reluctance, redemption, and grace. This tale isn't just about a prophet or even about a great fish. It's a reminder that God's plans are always bigger than our fears. So, buckle up for an incredible story of defiance, a stormy sea, and an unexpected journey into obedience. It begins when God gives Jonah a command. "Go to the great city of Nineveh," God says. "Warn them of their wicked ways, for my judgment is near unless they turn back to righteousness." But Jonah hesitated. Nineveh, after all, was a formidable place, full of an unfriendly and hostile people. Jonah feared for his life. He worried he might be mocked or injured, or worse. And so, instead of rising to the call of the Lord, Jonah decided to flee. He boarded a ship headed to Tarshish, a far-off land in the opposite direction of Nineveh. As the ship departed, Jonah believed he had escaped. But what Jonah failed to understand is that you cannot run from God. The Creator of the heavens and earth knows all, sees all, and is present in every corner of the universe. While Jonah slept below the deck, God sent a mighty storm upon the sea. Winds howled, waves roared, and chaos overwhelmed the sailors. They fought valiantly to keep the ship afloat, tossing cargo overboard to lighten the load. But the storm raged on, growing fiercer by the moment. The sailors, desperate and terrified, began to pray to their gods, yet no god answered. Finally, they remembered Jonah, their silent passenger. They woke him with frantic questions. "Who are you? From where do you come? What is your occupation? And why has this disaster come upon us?" Jonah, heavy-hearted, confessed, "I am a Hebrew. I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land." The sailors were astounded, and suddenly even more fearful. Jonah admitted the truth. "This storm has risen because I am fleeing from my God's command. If you wish to calm the sea, you must throw me overboard." But the sailors weren't quick to comply. They rowed harder, desperate to return to land without harming Jonah. Yet the storm only grew wilder. Finally, with great reluctance, they prayed to the Lord, asking for forgiveness, and cast Jonah into the raging waters. Immediately the sea grew calm. The wind ceased, the waves stilled, and a strange silence fell over the waters. The sailors, awestruck, offered sacrifices to God and made vows of reverence. Jonah, swallowed by guilt and regret, began to sink into the dark depths of the sea. But God, in his infinite mercy, had prepared a great fish. The fish, massive and awe-inspiring, swallowed Jonah whole. Inside the belly of the fish, Jonah found himself in a strange, dark, and confined space. It was there, amidst his fear and helplessness, that Jonah realized there was nowhere left to hide. With a humble heart, he cried out to God in prayer. "In my distress I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From the depths I cried for help, and you listened to my cry. You plunged me into the deep, into the very heart of the seas, but you, Lord my God, brought my life up from the pit." For 3 days and 3 nights, Jonah remained in the fish's belly. And for 3 days and nights he reflected, repented, and prayed. Then, in an act of great mercy, God commanded the fish to release Jonah. With a mighty thrust, the fish spat Jonah onto dry land. And there, Jonah stood, shaken, grateful, and resolute. He had witnessed God's power and mercy firsthand, and he knew it was time to fulfill his calling. This time, Jonah obeyed. He traveled to Nineveh, a sprawling city full of bustling streets and towering walls. Jonah walked through its heart, proclaiming God's message. 40 more days and Nineveh will be overturned. Turn from your evil ways. Astonishingly, the people of Nineveh listened. From the commoners to the king, they repented of their wicked deeds. They fasted, wore sackcloth, and cried out to God for forgiveness. When God saw their genuine repentance, he relented. He withheld the destruction he had planned and showed mercy to Nineveh. Yet Jonah, even after all he had experienced, was displeased. He struggled to understand God's compassion for a city so full of sin. He went to the outskirts of Nineveh, sat under the shade of a vine, and waited to see if God might change his mind. In this quiet moment, God decided to teach Jonah a final lesson. He caused a plant to grow overnight, offering Jonah shade from the blistering heat. Jonah was glad for the plant. It was a small comfort amidst his frustration. But the next day, God sent a worm to wither the plant, and Jonah once again found himself under the scorching sun. Angry and weary, he complained to God. God responded with a question that echoes through history, a reminder of divine mercy and love. Jonah, you are concerned about a plant, though you did not create or care for it. Should I not have concern for the great city of Nineveh, where over 100,000 souls who cannot tell their right hand from their left live, along with many animals? And so Jonah's story ends not with an answer, but with a question for all of humanity. It asks us to ponder the depth of God's compassion and our role in sharing His love with the world. If God can forgive the people of Nineveh, who were known for their great wickedness, how much more can He forgive us? Jonah's journey teaches us that no one is beyond redemption, and no calling is too intimidating with God's help. His story speaks to our hearts, urging us to trust in the Lord's plans, even when they seem impossible. It reminds us to put aside our fears, surrender our judgments, and embrace the boundless mercy of our Creator. So the next time you face a calling that feels overwhelming, remember Jonah, the man who learned that God's mercy is vast, His love unending, and His plans perfect. There's no storm that He can't calm, no depths too deep for His reach, and no heart too far gone for His grace.